Welcome back. What is a film without attracting a controversy or a boycott trend? A new film is on the block, and sure enough, it is generating heat. Adipurush first ran into trouble for its Ravan looking like a Muslim invader. And now the trolls and a BJP minister in MP has a problem with Hanumanji wearing a leather skirt. He's threatening legal action as well against the filmmakers. Listen in to Mr. Nirottam Mishra, who also happens to be the Home Minister of Madhya Pradesh.
अब हनुमान जी कई अंग वस्त्र जो हैं चमड़े के उसमें दिखाए गए हैं, जबकि हनुमान जी के तो चित्रण में अलग से कहा गया है कानून कुंडल कुंचित केसा, हाथ बज्ज और ध्वजा विराजे, कांधे मूज जनेऊ साजे। उसमें उनके अंग वस्त्र सब बताए गए हैं। उसके बाद में जिस तरह का किया गया है, ये आस्था पर कुठाराघात है। ये धार्मिक भावनाओं को आहत करने वाले दृश्य हैं। और मैं इसके जो निर्माता हैं ओम राउत जी, उनको पत्र लिख रहा हूं कि इस तरह की जितने भी दृश्य हैं इन्हें वो हटाएं। अगर वो नहीं हटाते हैं तो उसके बाद में हम कानूनी कार्रवाई पर विचार करेंगे।
What does Sita think about the controversy over Ravan's look and, well, Hanuman's skirt? I'm being joined by someone who forever will be Sita for everyone who grew up on the Ramayana that we saw 30 years ago on Doordarshan. Deepika ji, thank you very much for joining us. As always, a pleasure to have you here. My first question for you is this. You know, we very recently, before we come to the controversy, we not 48 hours ago saw a woman touching Arun Govildji's feet at the airport. He, of course, famously played Ram opposite you. You were Sita. Does that happen with you even till today?
Very regularly with us, yeah. So, I mean, it's not something that it amazes me or Arunji anymore. Anywhere we go, people just come and touch our feet, and that's their way of saying pranam. तो प्रणाम ऐसे नॉर्मली लोग करते हैं, ऐसे लोग करते हैं। हमारे साथ ये होता है कि लोग पैर आके छूते हैं, and there have been people who are like 80s and 90s, they do it. अभी भी I just came back from Ahmednagar, and yesterday there was a कार्यक्रम नवरात्रि का था, and उन्होंने रावण दहन भी कल ही कर दिया। तो उस कार्यक्रम में there were people who were 80 plus and they were still touching our feet, and all we did was stand like this, क्योंकि समझ नहीं आता how do you give आशीर्वाद to somebody who's, you know, so many years older than you. But yes, I think they have a lot of love for the role we played, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. You know, what was it, would you say, about the portrayal of Ram, Sita and Ravan 30 years ago during Ramanand Sagar's Ramayana that is still the reference point for all Ramayana retelling since? Anything that deviates then becomes a controversy.
रामचरितमानस लोग पढ़ते हैं, लेकिन they never had a reference कि सीता कैसी होगी या राम कैसे होंगे. So I think we gave them a face, and they kind of now relate to that face, they relate to that era, they relate to that dressing, the way they spoke. And for us, we took the reference from Valmiki ji's Ramayana and Tulsidas ji's Ramayana. So our reference was very authentic. So we tried to keep it as authentic as possible without trying to make it glamorous. At no point of time I made myself look glamorous. मैंने कहीं पे भी लिपस्टिक का इस्तेमाल भी नहीं किया है. मैंने बिंदी भी कुमकुम की बिंदी की. So without making it look glamorous, we were not trying to make something wow looking. We were just trying to portray and depict कि यही होगा उस जमाने का. So I think that authenticity, the simplicity of the characters, that made it very relatable to people, is my understanding of how it goes. Yeah.
Ma'am, what is your view about the current controversy about the Ravan of Adipurush looking like what many people have said, a Muslim invader? The fact is that, you know, the filmmakers have deviated from the standard look. Can we not accept that as creative freedom?
Everybody wants to move ahead with times, be it technology or be it storytelling. So people want to give that little different dimension to their own creativity, be it an actor, director, a filmmaker. So I guess trying to be different, sometimes you just end up not looking what you're supposed to be looking or doing. And I understand when you say we have proof, it's history, it's not mythology. We have history saying that Ravan comes from Sri Lanka. And if you don't look like a person who lived in Sri Lanka, I feel you're moving away from the basic of characterization of that character. So मुझे लगता है वो unbelievable हो जाता है. So if you're playing somebody who's come from Mongolia and you look somebody who's come from China, nobody's going to relate to that character. So I think वहीं पे एक basic the difference is there. So I guess you need to look that character, and that's how exactly we kind of succeeded with Ramayana, that we looked our roles. And people who in generations have been reading Ramcharitmanas would vouch and would say कि जी हाँ हनुमान जी ऐसे दिखते थे, जी हाँ सीता जी ऐसी दिखती थी, because the depiction of their features are also mentioned in the book. So I think it's very important to, if you're making Ramayana, that is, and you are being true to the Ramayana that is understood by the people of our country, then I think you need to play the role the way it is written. Your screenplay has been written by Valmiki ji and Tulsidas ji. So if you kind of weigh and move away from that, I think it's a little difficult for people to digest.
Deepika ji, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Always good to chat with you. Let's get our guests in as well now. Dilip Tahil is an actor joining us on the broadcast. Ravi Rai is a film and television writer. And we have Dilip Cherian, someone who understands brands very well as well, founder of Perfect Relations. Dilip Tahil ji, I'm going to start with you. Have the filmmakers made a mistake? And is the controversy buzzing around the film adipurush that is still not released, is it unnecessary, or do you think the critics, the trolls and the BJP minister from Madhya Pradesh, that he has a point, that there are sensibilities, Hindu sensibilities that have been hurt? Ravan may be an anti-hero for most of us, but he's an anti-hero all of us are protective about. So depict him in the way he needs to be depicted instead of making him look like a Muslim invader.
God, that's a huge question. It's really loaded. I mean, so many questions in one question. No, I mean, it's a perception. In any case, an antagonist in any form is a perception, and it can take any shape or form. I mean, there are the cliches that tell you that Ravan is supposed to look like the way it has been preconceived as Ravan, but Ravan can be a school of thought. He could be, or she could be anybody. It's a force. In any case, Ravan has been created to be a villain because, I mean, he did not get his chance at Sita's Swayamvar, and he was a Brahmin king, and he was wealthy, and he was educated, and he was done in by the opportunity to go to Sita's Swayamvar. And I'm relying on Amish Tripathi's novel to bring this up. So why can't Vishwamitra be the villain of the piece? So it's perception. I don't think it's got anything to do with, I mean, if you go by the cliche, then so-and-so is supposed to look like so-and-so. But I believe and I maintain that you have a creative liberty and a cinematic liberty, and you definitely have a creative liberty to create the characters who are going to look like your perception and how you visualize them. And I don't think there's a box that you can lock these characters into, be it Ram or Sita or Ravan or anybody in the Ramayana. The Ramayana is up for interpretation. It is not a sacrosanct written thing that Ram is going to look like what people have seen Ram to look like, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
There are no boundaries.
There are no boundaries. Ravi Rai, then tell me via many people, not just on Twitter, but otherwise also pretending that sacrilege has been committed here by making Ravan look the way he is, by making Hanumanji wear a leather skirt. I mean, there is something called creative liberty. I'm spending 40, 50, 80, 100 crores making a film. I'm not even calling it Ramayana. This is my interpretation of the Ramayana, and therefore I can imagine characters the way I want to. This is an epic that belongs as much to a Twitter troll, to a BJP mantri, as it does to Saif Ali Khan or to the makers of Adipurush.
You see, just a few minutes ago, you were talking to Deepika, and she said that people at the airport come and people around 80 years, 85 years, they come and touch their feet. Such is the belief. I really do not have any issues with moving ahead with times or moving ahead with, technology and create new things and create Avengers out of Ramayana. I mean, it's a filmmaker's complete decision. But my only point here is, which I have always said, there is so much of a bigger and a larger premise to experiment with their, make Jaws, make E.T., but why touch religious beliefs? I mean, why? I mean, I'm not debating what is right, what is wrong, but if something hurts a larger section of people, why do you want to touch that? Let it be there right in its place. And over a period of time, Shreya, I personally feel we've been debating a number of times, but we've only defended or discussed Hinduism. I mean, there has never been any other religion on the table or a discussion table that we have defended or not, because we don't touch those religions time and again. And I think it's also a saturation point for the Hindus कि भाई हर बार आप एक ही चीज उठा लेते हो यार, छोड़ दो उसको. Please don't, what I'm talking, do not take it as I am averse to moving ahead with times. But my only point is, tomorrow if you caricature my Guru Gobind Singh or Guru Nanak Ji, and I would certainly feel bad. I may not take law in my hands, or I may not. But my point is, leave these things alone, because people have invested over 1 million of years their beliefs in it. They are our faith, and we trust everything. I mean, which religion is not a perception? Tell me. Every religion has a perception. चाहे वो उड़ने वाला घोड़ा हो, चाहे वो उड़न खटोला हो. Now, ये बात वो है, विश्वास कर लो या ना कर लो, है ना? But the point is,
Ravi ji, here's what I want to understand. You are saying why are Hindu sensibilities only hurt? My question is, who, 20 people on Twitter, I'm just saying, 20 people on Twitter and one Madhya Pradesh minister threatening legal action doesn't determine or tell you, or is no barometer of how all Hindus are feeling, right? Who are we to speak, or who are politicians to speak on behalf of the larger Hindu community? Many will say, Raviji, and this is a point I know you will counter, and please go ahead and counter it. Otherwise, what's a debate if you don't counter it? That Hinduism is a religion that is all accommodating. It is a liberal religion. It is a tolerant religion. It is a religion, more importantly.
It is the glory of Hinduism and the diversity.
That has evolved, correct. That has evolved over a period of time. Our religion.
I mean, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah,
I mean,
go
it's
ahead,
absolutely the glory and the essence. Oh, man.
Go ahead, sir. I can hear you.
I'm saying it's the glory and the essence of Hindu religion that it can be questioned. And anyway, how do you connect Ramayana with religion is another aspect altogether. It is one of the most beautiful stories ever written. And the fact that Hindu religion and our beliefs are up for interpretation and have the glory to be interpreted is one of the beauty of the country that we live in and the stories that we have in our country. So, I mean, to link it and to put it into a box and say that it can never be questioned by the cliches that have been given is really, I think it's
Dalipji, you are right now running the danger.
Vision. It's like looking at it from a very, very small perspective.
Dalipji, I'm saying this only in jest, but you are running the danger of being branded a woke liberal by the Twitter lobby. So that's the danger you're running into anyhow. I'm glad.
Yeah, well, whatever. I mean, the Twitter lobby can say what they like. I'm speaking my mind. I mean, if you're telling me Hanuman is wearing a leather skirt, I mean, where is the controversy? I mean, who knows that he did not wear a leather skirt or he wore a polka dotted skirt? I mean, where is the controversy? I really don't understand it. But I know where this is coming from. It's basically a question of being locked in your cliches
Okay, Dilip.
and your perception that
Dilip,
this is what it's about. And in
Dilip
fact,
Cherian, come in
it
here.
is just like claustrophobic. It's claustrophobic about the whole concept of India.
Okay, Dilip Cherian, come in here. How do you place this entire controversy? Is it an unnecessary one, or is there genuine reason for outrage? I mean, a big section of this country finds genuine reason for outrage almost every day. So is this, do you feel
I
that
think
the controversy is justified? Yeah, unnecessary. One minister wanting some headlines is saying what he wants to, then Twitter is latching on to it, and well, the whole thing is blown up.
I think there are three trends at work here. One is the perception of Hinduism is under attack. That is one. The second thread is we need to show Bollywood what the limits are. And the third kind of thing is find a reason to attach Islam or Muslim to something and hang it. These are three trends which are going on. But look at it this way. What is the image of India, of Hinduism, and of Bollywood that is eventually emerging? Bollywood is being put into a box where it is expected to conform and not be creative. Conform at the cost of being non-creative. That's the first thing. The second box is that it is being told that this is the line you've got to walk. Don't touch any subject which is remotely religious. And let me tell you that that is a very thin line, because the next point will be don't touch anything which is remotely cultural, or which cultural czars have decided is they can define culture. But the big problem that Bollywood is facing today is that viewers who are younger are looking for excitement, for newness, and for reinvention. Bollywood knows that if it wants to try and get its audiences back from those who are spending their time on gaming and other such things, or looking at movies from elsewhere, Korean movies, for example, the fact is that Bollywood understands that it also has a dharam sankat. The dharam sankat is survival. If it is to survive, it has to innovate, tell stories which may be religious, which have a mass appeal, and then push the boundaries of creativity so that Bollywood begins to find a reinvention of itself. I think that is the real problem that we are not understanding, and which we as a country are facing, and our soft power is gradually waning as a result of all this.
All right, I'll wrap up this chat with the last word being given to Ravi Rai, because this debate has become 2:1. Raviji, I think you need to respond to what Dilip Cherian is saying. A, hang the Muslim, and B, don't touch anything. Bollywood has been clearly, I mean, you're being pushed to a situation where you're being told, don't touch anything that has to do with religion. How did we get to a point where we are also sensitive? The narrative almost becomes, and this is what Dilip Cherian is saying, कि हिंदू खतरे में है. हिंदू खतरे में कहाँ है? हिंदुइज्म खतरे में कहाँ है भारत में? There's 80% of us here, and that is what every debate, every story gets reduced to in this country, in this milieu.
But hang the Muslim is a very wrong narrative. I mean, wrong and very unhealthy narrative. I mean, where does he derive from hang the Muslim? How? Sir, Tan se juda is not a Hindu cry. है ना? So let's not get into that. That's not the topic today, but it's certainly. Baki Hindu, if you say that Hindu has been insecure, no, Hindu has never been insecure. But my point only there is, could we debate 45 minutes on Islam? I mean, Dilip is talking about that we must move ahead and we must move in a progressive manner about even our mythologies. Will we in the same breath move forward with Islam and Quran and Bible? No, we will not. I mean, 45 minutes we cannot discuss Islam. None of them can comment on Islam. The truth is that. But every day, it's not my anger, please try and understand. I am with absolutely freedom of art. But what I'm saying is leave freedom of art for some things, Why every day are we discussing Hindu attacked, Hindu attacked? Either Hindus have gone mad. I have not in my 60 years seen a Raman looking like this with Kajal and looking like some Islamic ISIS leader. Not that it hurts me. I will not see the film. I will not go unconstitutional on it. But you are testing tolerance of Hindus time and again. And my point there for the betterment of the society is कि अगर आप भैया हम लोग छोटे होते हैं स्कूल में बोलते हैं ना माँ का नाम मत लेना. I mean, we don't even know at the age of 4 or 5, but we say माँ का नाम मत लेना. So the point is कि everybody, every religion is as touchy as Hindus are. But the point again, which we've discussed billions of years, that Hindus are tolerant. क्या आप tolerant नहीं हो? कैसी बातें कर रहे हो? हिंदू का मतलब ये है, हिंदू का मतलब इंक्लूजन है. तो हिंदू का मतलब वो खिलौना भी तो नहीं है दुकान पे जिस पे लिखा हुआ है हिट मी बीट मी, वो भी तो नहीं है ना हिंदू. कहीं तो एक सैचुरेशन पॉइंट आएगा, है ना? They're going to get tired, they're going to revolt, they're going to tell you don't do this. They will begin with don't do this. But end of the day, if you go on inflicting, why are you playing with their religion?
Okay.
Don't do that.
I think you've made your point, and we've heard all points of view on the story. Good to have you, Dalip ji. Good to have you, Dilip ji, and good to have you, Ravi ji, as well. Thank you very much for joining us. Dalip ji, I have a piece of important breaking news coming in. I would have taken a last comment from you, but very important and tragic news that is coming in. So I'll have to let